everybody. This is Carolina Millan. Welcome to a new episode of Beyond the Hustle. And today I am extremely honored to have a guest of such a high impact right now in businesses and in the world, Mr. Jay Abraham. How are you, Jay?
I am really well. I'm in Los Angeles. You're in Chile, and it's interesting. It's a pleasure to talk to you. I've done very little in Latin America, so it's fun to have a chance to make contributions. So hopefully, I can provide some ideas and answers that'll help all of your listeners or your viewers. Ask away, and I'm ready for it.
Thank you so much. I am certain that you will. So I got to know you. I was telling you before we started that I got to know you a few years ago at one of Tony Robbins' events, and over there you spoke of a concept that I really like, which is the 3 ways to grow a business. I actually recently made a video in Spanish to explain it to my audience, but I would love for you to share some insights of some specific actions that small businesses can take today to grow their business applying this model.
Sure. So there's 2 elements to the 3-way concept, a basic and an advanced. So the basic is that many years ago, earlier in my career, and my career's been long, I discovered that you could grow a business dramatically, Carolina, in a geometric way if you did 3 things. A, focus not just on growing more buyers or clients or members or subscribers, but B, tried to get them at the time of purchase to ethically buy more, larger units of sale. B, get them to buy longer. I wish I could tell you it was original. Somebody had to show the mathematics to me, and then I went, wow. But they showed that if you just work on growing more buyers, it's very limited, and it's limited to linear incremental growth. If you work on all 3, growing the number of buyers, growing the size of the transactions, and therefore the profit each transaction represents, and growing the length of time, the duration, or what is called the utility value, meaning all the ways that somebody can be financially worthwhile to you and monetize for you, you can grow your business exponentially, geometrically. And more so, the business grows that way, but the profit grows even more because you don't have as much fixed cost. So there are probably, Carolina, 30 different elements or options you have in the 3-way model. The easiest first option is that most small, medium businesses actually get 10, 20, 30, 50, 80, sometimes 100% of their revenue from referrals or word of mouth. And yet almost none of them have even one referral generating system or strategy in play, let alone multiple ones, because I have worked all my life all over the world with entrepreneurs representing over 1,000 industries. We've identified literally 150 different referral generating strategies that someone has available. There's no way you would ever use 150 or 100 or even 50. But if you're doing none and half of your business is coming from referrals and you added 3 or 5 or 7 or 10 more, it could double, redouble, double again your revenue, sales, buyers, and quadruple your profits. There are many ways to do that. So that's one thing. The second thing is make it easier for people to start a relationship with you. There are about 10 ways to do that. I'll just give you a few.
Okay.
One is using risk reversal. Risk reversal is a very powerful concept that is based on the psychological recognition that anytime two people come together to transact anything, but in our case, business, one side is always asking the other, either verbally or subconsciously, non-verbally, to assume levels of risk, all the risk, most of the risk, more than all the risk. More than all the risk might be if you're selling a SaaS system to manage part of your business. If it blows up, you don't just lose the $300 a month you're paying. You could lose all your data. You could lose your accounts receivable or your billing or your methodology, your IP. So to the extent that an entrepreneur can identify what are all the concerns, the uncertainties, the apprehensions, the fears that keep people from saying yes and cause them either to say no or say maybe or say nothing. And you can overcome that with what is called risk reversals, ways to take the risk away. And I'm just giving you some ideas. The next is, depending on what you sell, if you analyze what was called the lifetime value of a buyer, which means it refers to how many things they buy over a period of time, what those things represent in dollars and profits, how many years or transactions they most probably, conservatively speaking, Caroline, are going to do. So you figure out every time I get 10 new buyers, 8 of them are going to buy 7 times a year for 2 years, as an example. Mm-hmm. Well, that tells you what that buyer is ultimately going to be worth to you in total profit over their what's called usable life. Once you know that, the sooner you get the first sale, assuming you have a product or service that has a lot of other repurchases, then the sooner you'll get the second and the third. And if you don't have a lot of other products or services, and you're a company that only sees themselves in a one category manner, you can add new products or services that you partner and acquire use of from other companies. You don't have to own them. You don't have to produce them. You can just acquire them from other partners. But if you only sell one thing one time and that's it, but you identify that that buyer buys lots of other things before, during, right, after, and you find ways to acquire those kind of products to offer also, you might double, you might even redouble again the number of purchases you could do with them, or at least double or redouble again the profit you could create. So I can go on to it, but that's another approach. Another approach is to partner externally with other companies, media, associations, organizations, authors, influencers who have the trust and the credibility of the same market you are trying to reach.